What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 European AI-only conquest game. Hope you're enjoying it. Got some... This problem, we're coming up with more and more creative titles for these games. It's harder to remember them. But we keep going. We continue. It's turn 250. I haven't really thought of a point yet. It's not hit me yet that it's going like super slow. I don't have a point in mind. We know what sort of point it gets to. It's when it's like 3 to 4 turns an episode. It's when it gets ridiculous. There will be a point obviously where I'll sort of skip to the highlights because sadly, like I said, we're going to try. The hope was we'd sort of get to one left. I'm going to be honest, I don't necessarily see that happening anymore. It does seem unlikely because there's still so many left. I mean, the only way it could probably happen is if like we started intervening now and, you know, force some wars against the smaller civs. Like if we, you know, killed off, basically piece out all the wars, and then like, you know, if we sort of split them into big civs, small ones, and we sort of group the big ones up to eat the nearest small one, sort of thing, which is a bit artificial and not too fun. And I think some of the wars and the action we're getting between some of these big civs is really good, so we're not gonna mess that up. But yeah, we might not get to one left, but you know, we will try and get as far as we can. And if that's done you know, without me commentating every turn, that's fine. You know, if we have to just, you know, if I do some 50 turn time jumps and whatever later on, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, I mean, the AI can be hesitant to go down to one left at the best of times. That Assyrian settler did make it all the way. I think it was the same one. Oh no, it's a different one. That was the one that was down here. But either way, this one's settled all the way up here. Just nice. I mean, Morocco's here, so what does it matter, right? Assyria is starting to lose more and more cities. Sorry, not Assyria, the Ottomans, to Assyria, as they lose Ooredoo in North Africa. They still have quite a few. They still have 7. No, 8, so that's not too bad. Morocco completes the Statue of Liberty. It is in Rabat there, I think. It flashed on Rabat. It would have been funny if they built it in St. Petersburg, but that's still in resistance for at least another 7. They actually took away the Machu Picchu wonder, and probably some other wonders that were in this city as well as the second city. Not all of them will have been in Moscow. So that's got to be... I don't get how that happened. I get the happiness. I don't know what mechanic exactly chooses who it revolts to, but that is quite funny. It's just so weird. But there we go. I mean, that's certainly a blow to Russia. I said it was good that they conquered 2 cities, but I don't know. That's probably a negative trade all round. Like 7 and 6 for your second city from the beginning of the game. Yeah, there's a lot of production. Wonders that would have been in here. That's actually, I never thought of that, to be honest, but at the time, last episode, thought of it now obviously, but there we go. Yeah, they need to really make this work. We know they are at war with Poland, and they have now amassed their army here. They've finally moved them across, and there's mobile SAMs backing that up. That is pretty terrifying for the rest of the world, who are not exactly discovered. Most of the other armies of the world still have their fastest unit being horses. So that's pretty scary. The Huns also have the Huns have submarines. That's pretty useful. I mean, they now have pretty much full control of the Black Sea anyway, but still, how is this city still here? This infantry is surely going to get the job done. Surely. And I'm also surprised Assyria's not just snuck one in from behind. Germany does retake Orleans. Finally, a bit of fight back from them. That's what we've been hoping for. What we've been looking for. England and Poland piecing out as well. That was, yeah, I mean, there was no need for them to even be fighting, so hopefully that frees up some more Polish units to head towards the Eastern Front, which is a massive border. I think it's probably the largest land border. Okay, it's not, but it kind of is. I think I'm just going by eye. This could be wrong, but I think the Germany-Poland one might be slightly bigger, just because it's kind of, you know, it's so broken up, and this is like a complete, like all of this border kind of counts, so it's kind of, it's a bit misleading. But I think, yeah, continuous border, I think this is definitely the longest in the world, or in this Europe map. But here we go, the city of Lublin is under some pressure. England goes autocracy. I think they're the last one who didn't have an ideology, because Sweden went autocracy last time around. But here we go, let's see. I believe so far Poland has not lost a single city to Russia, which is an incredibly impressive feat so far. I think that could change, although you never know, they're spread out. This city's certainly feeling the initial brunt of things. Orleans does fall back to Spain over in the west as well. Here we go, Egypt's turn. There is more rebels in Russia. There's some infantry. They'll have to go back and deal with those. You don't want everything getting pillaged or your workers getting messed up. Russia is trading with Morocco. They're not even trying it. That is quite funny. They're just going to send a caravan there instead, make some money. I mean, to be fair, Russia is limited actually to no cargo ships. I never thought of that. I know by now most AIs are probably starting to hit that point where they might burn through all their cash and money's not really a thing to them anymore. But Russia has never had the ability to send a cargo ship. They do not own a coastal city that can send one. They can send internal routes here, but not ones that generate money. So that's obviously an economic... That hurts, you know. Seems like, I mean, the Huns have actually kind of could have done and now can't because of their own expansion. I mean, they can go to this Assyrian city, but that's it. But yeah, compared to civs, say, in the Mediterranean, who have so many options, Spain and Rome, I think, have been sort of cargo shipping with each other a lot. Although I don't know if the AI, you know, do they avoid certain civs to trade with? Probably. A lot of denouncements from Morocco there. No, that's not what you want. England and Russia have made a declaration of friendship. That's not reflective of what's going on, is it? But anyway, they're also just very far apart. It's a weird one. There's still a longbowman here. Poor guy. You've got these guys who are great war infantry, and then they're just like, no, you keep using the bows. You're doing a great job. Big battle, but yeah, Paris and there's no resistance. This was pretty easy for Spain just to take these over. Now they're fighting a bit more tense around Orleans. If I was Russia, I would try and befriend Germany. They would be like the perfect person to help you fight Poland. Doing it together would work, but you know, other people have fought the same thing and it didn't quite work out. Germany did actually follow on this advice though. They put a little city here to give them a canal to avoid Poland's borders. It's pretty smart. Might have hurt your happiness a bit, but it was pretty smart. And again, Poland is viciously defending, although they do have two cities now in the yellow, so maybe not too good. Spain enters the atomic era. Kaunas in the south here as well, under pressure. But these infantry units just going around, causing a bit of chaos. Assyria conquers another Ottoman city. Actually, okay, I say another. They've actually conquered 3 and I've missed it. But there you go. They are still hell-bent on just removing the Ottomans from this game, it would seem, and taking a lot of North Africa for themselves. Okay, what we're going to do is actually we're going to do something. Once this turn is over, because civs are getting there now. I mean, Russia's just not Russia, sorry, Poland. That might be a deterrent and a half, completing the Manhattan project. I believe they're first, but Russia does take Katowice. It's the first city, I believe, to fall. Well, not maybe some of the others fell and Poland got them back. I can't remember now. It's been a long time. I'm going to quickly save just so it doesn't break. Okay, and then we're going to go in here, and I am going to reveal oil, aluminium, and uranium for us, which is biology, yep, electricity, yep, and which one's uranium? A bit further down. Atomic theory, is it that one? Yes. Okay, so we should now be able to see all those. Again, I'm not going to be able to spot them all, but we'll sort of work our way around, see who's got what. We'll start with Morocco at the bottom. Morocco, they do have aluminium. We won't focus on how much, but yeah, they definitely have aluminium. They do have offshore oil as well, once they get to that, and they have some uranium there. So Morocco's got everything. Spain has at least one source of uranium. They have coal as well, which we looked for before, but I'm not seeing any oil. I do see more uranium. I'm not seeing oil or aluminium within Spain's borders. Again, if you spot it, well, there's aluminium. There you go. You were about to comment it, weren't you? I know, I spotted it in time. But there's also all of this Spanish territory, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Again, I don't think I see any in there, but well done if you do. We're just looking for oil They have the rest, obviously. There is a bit of oil up here in Iceland, but not that much. Surprisingly, Morocco seems to have got some of the only offshore oil here. Could be very useful for them. Right, let's do England, as they're pretty small. We did see England has uranium, although they're the furthest away from being able to use it. They do have some oil here towards the North Sea. I don't see any aluminium. Okay, let's do sweet. Oh, there is some here. Someone could get some oil up here. Maybe Poland is about to get that. Which would make sense, because Poland can see the oil. Sweden do not appear to have any there. Helsinki doesn't have any of those resources either. Sigtuna, nope, they've missed out on the uranium. They do have some oil. Okay, this is more difficult than I thought it was to find everything. Germany, you have uranium. We've seen that. Do you have any oil? Do you have any aluminium? I'm probably missing it. There's just so many little unit blobs and resource blobs and cities. It's hard to see, but I'm not seeing any. There is a new city here north of Rome. There is. Oh, that's in Rome, so ignore that. I don't see any oil or aluminium for Germany, which could be a bit punishing in the long run. Did they lose any with these cities? No, I don't think so. Okay, right, let's do Rome. I'm just trying to work around the map in some sort of logical fashion. They do have aluminium. We also saw they had some more somewhere else. They're actually getting attacked pretty badly there. They have, yeah, plenty of aluminium. Any oil, Rome? Lots of aluminium. Of course, this means they could trade it for oil if someone's without. There is not much oil on this map. It seems like oil is the rarest of them. I see more aluminium. There's uranium. Yeah, no oil, it would seem, for Rome that I can see. Again, you might spot some. Right, Poland, you're next. None there. They are probably going to get some oil with that settler, like I said. I do have some oil here, offshore. They have some more oil here, which they're already using. Don't see any aluminium though, or uranium. So that's an issue for them. Right, Russia, what do you got? The Huns do have oil. We'll come back round to the rest of them, but just good to know. Charleston, Assyria. I feel like that might again be... Is that an Assyria? That must be them stealing a name from me, because I've not used many of the American cities. That sounds American. I don't know. It doesn't sound very Assyrian relative to the other ones. 4 mobile SAMs now for Russia to deal with. That is rough. Of course, Russia gets double strategic resources, so if they have even one source, they can make the most of it. Although I say that, they don't seem to have any. I mean, they have no planes, so oil is probably non-existent for them. They also... I don't think... Russia has none of them. That is rough. Okay. I was going to say, yeah, they don't have any rocket artillery, but they have mobile SAMs, which means no aluminium. The Huns had oil. They also have uranium. I'm going to guess they have aluminium somewhere, because they're pretty large, but who knows? They have a lot of copper. Not that that is a strategic resource, but they do have uranium. There's some on this mountain, which they cannot actually access. More oil there. I don't think they have any aluminium, so that sucks for them. On to Assyria, who does have aluminium. Oh, no, they didn't have anything up north. They do have aluminium. Do they have any oil in the water? No. I feel like they must have oil, right? They do have some down here, or they would have some eventually. They do have uranium as well, and they do have some here. There you go. So they have all of them, and then I think Egypt is the last one. Well, the Ottomans are still kicking around, but Egypt has none, as far as I can see. Sorry, Egypt. Yeah, nothing there either. Do you have anything in the... Yeah, nothing in the water. And that leaves the Ottomans, which do have a 5 oil, which is being welled, or has an oil well on it. But that's probably going to fall to Assyria. And that is it. There is... Oh, Assyria's got some more uranium there, so I'm going to turn those off now. That's all the resources, and there's no more strategic resources, so at least we know. We may continue. Got that part done. Greece denounces Morocco. Greece, of course, not really existent anymore, but there we go. Probably a couple of units dragging around somewhere. Yep, a workboat and a worker sort of lurking away. But Rome and the Huns, there is battling going on. Some of these cities under siege. Palmyra, Miletos on both sides. Poland did retake Katowice. I feel like we're not doing the game a favour, or doing this war a service by not looking. This is a huge one, as Katowice falling back into Russia's hands again. And Lublin here is pretty close, but these mobile SAMs and the infantry's certainly distracting them. And look at Poland's navy. It's pretty powerful, but it cannot help. I mean, it's triremes and battle destroyers, but we'll ignore that. I mean, that doesn't help you because Russia is like one of the only civs, I think in fact the only civ that has no coastal cities. They have some on those lakes at the top, but you know, none that can access the actual seas of the map. I think they're the only one, which is pretty brutal. When you actually, when you think about it, I'm just looking, they are the only one. That's not an exaggeration. Everyone else has multiple coastal cities. They are the only one that's completely landlocked, although it doesn't seem to have hurt them for technology. Whatever they're doing is working. Let's see how this turn goes. They're closing in on the city of Lublin, so maybe they'll make up for the loss of St. Petersburg. Certainly would, I think, if they could get another city here. Taking a big chunk out of Poland. Would also leave Warsaw pretty exposed if they were to just plough straight down the middle. Germany also has rebels, which is not ideal for them as they peace out with England. Turn 261. We're going at an okay pace. It's fine. It's all good. We did just stop for 5 minutes to look at resources, so we're actually going at a really good pace, I think. It's all fine. It's not super slow. There's plenty of action. This is great. Normally there's no action and it's really slow when you get to this stage. So to have so much going on, the Ottomans are falling in the south. Rome and the Huns is a huge war, and yet it's kind of a side event at the moment. As there we go, Russia does grab the city of Lublin off of Poland. They're putting up a big defense though. I feel like that might be it as far as cities falling goes, especially because these other ones will have boats helping to defend, although none of them are battleships, and maybe that won't help too much. We will see. Only time will tell. New research agreement. Who's that? Let's have a look. Let's give someone a moment in the spotlight. The Huns and England. That seems very beneficial to England in particular. They're obviously I think they're last in technology, or at least probably last in the world, apart from the Ottomans, I guess. But there it is. Lublin falls back into Polish control as Rome completes the Manhattan Project. I believe they are second. We saw Poland do it a few turns ago as Russia retakes the city of Lublin. But Rome's a big one because I think they might actually... So I've already forgotten, as you can see, but potentially, as they've also grabbed Corsica here, they may have the ability to actually build nukes. Yeah, they do have uranium, right? There was some... There it is. So Rome could actually end up building one. Spain completes the Cristo Redentor. But yeah, still here. It's still even. Just skirmishes along the border as the Ottomans lose another city, and these two should go pretty soon as well. And somehow this one port is, oh my goodness, it is surrounded by cannons. How are they not getting this done? It's beyond me. But there we go. Just the AI. We've seen this. This hasn't happened for a while. It used to happen a lot maybe a few years ago. I find it weird because I don't think the game's being updated or anything, but the AI's behaviour, this is the sort of thing we see a few years ago where they would have a city surrounded and just couldn't do it. It was a bit embarrassing for them. Maybe it's come back, whatever's causing that. But yeah, this is a very good defence. Poland did settle on this city, which will give them access to that 5 oil. Very important resource, and now there really is limited space to settle. I can't see many more. And a city has revolted. Morocco at it again with the city of Hamburg. Oh my goodness, Morocco. I don't know how they're doing this, but everyone wants to be part of the Moroccan Empire. Hamburg and St. Petersburg both flipping. Two of the biggest cities, I believe, I think second cities of both Germany and Russia, flipping to join Morocco. I don't know what to say. That's bizarre. One thing to note just a kind of side thing. I know we've got lots of really powerful civs still competing here. Assyria is really starting to fill out this. They're adding more and more cities down here, and they're even stealing like Swedish city names. That's how many they have. So yeah, I'm just curious. I feel like, even though maybe I know they just conquered the Ottomans, which was a big expansion, but overall, you know, just take note of this. You know, they're still adding lots down here. These cities are huge as well, some of them. So they are still growing relative to someone who's not grown in a while, such as the Huns, who are massive. Should we have a little look at the demographics? I don't know how useful they are. Poland has the most population. Assyria, actually pretty dominant in pretty much everything else. And then literacy for Russia, not much use as who's in last, and the average will be, it's useful, but my zeros aren't helping. It still has like Greece is alive with zeros, so this is actually lower than what the real average will be. But there you go, still worth having a little look. Russia completes the Pentagon, and they have now dealt with those rebels. They yeah, they're being held off, but I think they will hold on to those two cities they took from Poland. So they have grown their territory pretty well in the last few years, and they're still maybe going to try and get this city. I think they've wanted it for a while. It looked a lot bigger a few turns ago, but as you can see, there's been a bit of citadel spam from the Huns, or not spam, but one each. And I think the Polish one was already here, which is why it was so big, and then the Huns have come and returned the favour. So that those borders are nice and gross. But yeah, this map is getting weirder by the minute. Some areas it's consolidating, and in some areas it's getting very weird, as the Ottomans did lose another city, and that leaves the Ottomans with 4. Is Spain and Germany still a thing? It is. Orleans now seems very much in Spain's hands. The people of the Huns have risen up and flipped to order. Okay, so the social policies are a complete mess. There's now a Hunnic cavalry. That is 2 turns, by the way, with that. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a big revolution of units. There's a lot of unhappiness on this map right now, because there's been such aggressive settling, I think, but still. The Huns now lose their ability to do production and science for 2 turns, I believe, so that gives Rome a real big chance here. 2 turns of... I know it sounds like 2 turns is not huge, but when you have this many cities, at this difficulty, at this stage in the game, you could probably build quite a few units in 2 turns, or, you know, get closer to a lot more units, and that will allow you to reinforce that few turns quicker. Spain is now the 3rd civ with the Manhattan Project. So there we go, and I just want to see this. What is this looking like right now? Order. To join order is pretty big, but there, I mean, yeah, Morocco all of a sudden have 57 tourism, and that's a lot. Poland had 52. So and it is related to who you're near to, but overall happiness, it's -1 in Morocco. I think they might be victims of their own success here, because I think the happiness from St. Petersburg and Hamburg, which they would have taken the full hit from, because there was no, it's not like a war where half the population dies. They just took it all, so that might have hit them. Russia is still on -10, and Germany is still on -18, so I think we might see some more revolutions to order, or freedom, or more cities revolting coming up. But that will be it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.